Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. I'm using my cup. There we go. And yeah, good morning. Today is Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. Here we are in wonderful Pahrump or Pahrumpertucky, you choose. We are west of Sin City, east of Death Valley, south of Area 51, and north of the brothels. Cool, hard scrabble, sharp elbowed, rootin' tootin', pistol packing people. And that is cool. That is great. We are here in interesting territory. And it's good to be alive. That's not very exciting. Here we are, day 3 of week 1, our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. Today we're going to be talking about addiction. We'll come to that a little bit later. Today is also the breakfast, the volunteers breakfast, Love Thy Neighbor. Tomorrow is the point in time count. Right, point in time count. Not quite clear on how it works. That was pretty good. Not too shabby. Righto. A lot of stuff to do today. But we are here now to talk about addiction. Let's look at our worksheet. Advice from an 80-year-old. Beware of the person who has nothing to lose. Let's bracket on that for a second. Why? Because they'll kind of do whatever they want because they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose. Well, beware of the person who has nothing to lose. So when things go bad, they've got nothing to lose. They have a lot of leverage. I'll take you down with me. So beware of that person. You can use Rudyard Kipling's If you can keep your head while all around you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. Okay. Next. Seth Godin. On the hiring line, there have always been two sides: hiring people to do tasks and jobs, or hoping to be hired to do those tasks and jobs. Okay? Hiring people hoping to be hired. The difference now is that it's increasingly difficult to find a good job to get hired for, and easier than ever to be the person who hires an AI or a person to do a task. Our understanding of entrepreneur needs updating. It's no longer mostly about raising money, buying a factory, taking financial risk, or even out hustling for sales. Instead, it's an emotional shift to walk to the other side of the hiring line. If you can hire an AI to do tasks that solve problems for other people, you can do it again. And if you do it well enough, you can do it for a living. Projects, not jobs. Hiring, not being hired. It sort of had a twist to it. Let's go back here. If you can hire an AI to do tasks that solve problems for other people, you can do it again. If you do it well enough, you can do it for a living. Hire an AI to do tasks that solve problems for other people. Right. Okay, so you're hiring AIs. Cool. All righty then. Let's see what else we got on our hit parade. Oh yeah. Let's see. There was a very good one today by Darren Hardy. Very good one by Darren Hardy. Yeah, but once again, I can't get to it. Let's see if I can get there this way. Hold. Let's see if this was a very good one by Darren Hardy. If we can get it, great. 2 questions. Two questions that give you total control. What's bugging you? What did you do to contribute to that? Well, I think you don't ask the question, what's bugging you? You think of the thing that's bugging you. What's bugging me now? Well, that would be 3 questions. So I think question number 1 is, what did you do to contribute to that problem? And what are you going to do about it? So when something pops up that's an obstacle, it's a problem, you identify it and you ask, what did I do to contribute to that problem? What did you do to contribute to that problem? And then you say, okay, well, what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do about that problem? All right, moving right along. Let's talk about Johann Hari and addiction. Before we talk about the addiction part, let's talk about the Johann Hari, because the experts on addiction, after learning about Johann Hari, it's not uncommon for them to say, I think he nailed it. I think he nailed it. Why? Because the unique circumstances that led him on the hunt. So one thing, addiction problems in his family, he had motive. He wanted to figure out addiction. Why? Because he torpedoed his career by doing something very stupid. So he was an award-winning journalist, and someone was critical of something he did, and instead of dealing with the issue, he pretended to be someone else and attacked the person attacking him. Got exposed. And so, kind of like Watergate, it wasn't the break-in, it was the cover-up. It was the cover-up that was the problem. So here, it wasn't what he was accused of, it's what he did to the person accusing him. And it blew up. He lost everything, reputation, awards, prizes, job, shunned by a lot of people. So he had problems, but then he had a motive to figure out, why did I do this to my career? The other thing is, because he was successful, he had means, he had money. He could spend the time to figure out why he blew up his career, and he didn't really have a lot of other alternatives. And then the next thing is he had training. Probably the most important thing, he had training. He went to, I think it was Cambridge or Oxford, I think it was Cambridge, and so he was educated by very bright, sharp, smart people. And that meant the fact that he got in there, he was very bright, smart, sharp person himself. So you take a very well-educated person who has the means, and you give them a motive, a very strong motive, and they will go off, and that's what he did. So he had tools that no one else had. He was uniquely conditioned or positioned to solve the problem. And because he had not gone vertically like all of the experts, they would find an idea and drill down 1,000,000 miles as far as they could, hoping to find the Holy Grail. Where he was able to go this way and talk to people and then go deep. Talk to people, go deep. So he wove together a tight quilt. Let's call it a quilt, explaining addiction. And then, because he's a good writer, he was able to articulate it in such a way that people could understand it. So that's another problem of the people who go 1,000,000 miles deep. They're 1 mile wide and 1,000,000 miles deep, or 1 inch wide and 10 miles deep. Is he could articulate what he learned. And he started with the premise that we all have, that there are chemical hooks in these drugs. That if you take cocaine long enough, or LSD, or heroin, or whatever, enough times you become addicted to it. Your body craves it. And he said, well, where did that idea come from? And the idea came from doing experiments on rats in cages and giving them a choice between drug-laced water and water. And they found that the rats would use the drug-laced water to their detriment and often death. And the reasoning went that rats are rational creatures. No rational creature is going to do something, intentionally do something to harm itself. Therefore, there's something in the drugs that prevent the rat from stopping bad behavior. Chemical hooks. And that was the story. That's where the story came from. But then, and we could stop right there, but if you keep the camera rolling, if you keep studying it, you see, well, wait a second. If Granny goes in the hospital for a broken hip, she doesn't come out a junkie. And we had lots of people come back who were using lots of heroin in the Vietnam War. They came back and they just stopped. Why didn't everyone else become junkies? Why didn't they just become a junkie? If there's chemical hooks, everyone should be in a position they can't stop. But they did. The evidence is contrary to that. So he's doing some more research, and he comes across a guy named Bruce Alexander, who looks at the experiment and says, wait, there's something wrong here. There's something wrong. Maybe it's not the drugs that are forcing the rats. The rats can't stop taking the drugs. Maybe it's not the drugs. Maybe it's the cage. Maybe it's the cage. The rat has nothing to do. So it can be bored to death in isolation, or it could be doing something, taking these drugs to take away some of the pain of isolation. So he created the opposite of the sterile, empty cage, and he called it Rat Park. So it had just the opposite. Lots of things to do, other rats, food, all kinds of stuff for rats to do, plus the laced water and the plain water. And he found what he was hoping to find, which is the rats didn't use the drug water very much, and some not at all, and none of them OD'd. So then he went on a hunt to see, are there places in the world, so the United States uses the harsh treatment of people. We are going to sever relationships with you. You do drugs, you commit a crime, you're going to go to prison, it's going to be bad. We're going to punish you out of your addiction. And he went around and he found other, Portugal, he focuses on, where they did just the opposite. So instead of severing relationships with people, they created more relationships, because the idea was people use drugs to take away the pain of their life, and they don't have good relationships. So they bond with the drug or alcohol or pornography or gambling or work or whatever it is. They do that because they don't have meaningful connections in their life. That's what gives them pleasure or takes away pain. Right. And if you think about it, people who are heavy drug users that you know isolate. They're lonely. They don't fit in. And you could say, well, they don't try to fit in. Well, because they already have now bonded with something. So when I was teaching in the women's jail, the Clark County Detention Center, CCDC, women's class, a woman told me that she would go to work, she'd write love letters to heroin, her lover, talking about when she got home, how good it was going to be. So she went to the level of kind of anthropomorphing, heroin, thinking of it as a partner, collaborator, a lover, friend. So she would use heroin because she didn't have good relationships, and she didn't have good relationships because she wasn't out there with people trying to have good relationships with people. So it was this vicious cycle. We all know people like that. So fast forward, because we have 1 minute left. So Johann Hari says the solution is we should not be scolding addicts. We should be embracing them. We should be singing love songs to them. We should let them know that we are here for them, that we're not going to push them away. We're going to pull them closer, that we need to help them build healthy relationships with other people. And that is what we try to do at Love Thy Neighbor, is get people out of their lonely existence and bring them in to community with other people as friends. And that might be the solution I was thinking of to a problem at the senior center. And that problem is, oops, out of time. So tomorrow we will be back here, same place, same time.